From VTV Channel 6 Studios in downtown Vernal, this is Local Point with your host, Chris Piner.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome to Local Point, brought to you by Strata Networks. I'm David Gale, filling in for Chris Piner today. Joining me in the studio, we have Doug Ogden and Steve Puro from the Basin Arts Council. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us today. We've got some exciting stuff to talk about. But first, just out of curiosity, because there are some different arts councils in the area for our viewers out there, maybe, Steve, you could help us distinguish the difference between the Basin Arts Council and some of the other ones.
The Basin Arts Council resides in Roosevelt. That's where we're based from. We operate with tax funds, the ZAP tax dollars for Roosevelt City. We run events throughout the year dealing specifically with the arts. Uintah County has its own arts council, and the state, of course, has an arts council as well. We all play in the same sandbox, but we all have our own programming that we bring to our communities.
And so what's the basic vision of the Arts Council? I mean, you provide activities, events for people to go to?
Bring cultural events into the area that are not sports, hunting, the cultural side of our community.
Sure. Anything that's at least arts related. So we've got a big celebration going on. This is Roosevelt's Centennial. So what is that? What's the Basin Arts Council have to do with that?
So starting in 2012, the Roosevelt City Council and Mayor were wondering what to do special during this centennial year. And we as an Arts Council came to them and suggested that we would put together a one-year calendar producing one event per month for the 12 months. And in each of those events, because we're the Arts Council, we would attach some arts function or piece to that event. So that's the overall view, the vision that kicked off in January.
And you have everything already set up? You still working on getting those last months put together?
There's some soft dates yet, but we have an idea of where we're headed for the full 12 months at this point. The first quarter is just about halfway over already. We started with a cake decorating contest and a birthday cake celebration in Roosevelt, and the cake decorating was something we'd never done, the culinary arts. And so we brought that in as part of the party.
How did it go?
Went very well. 41 cakes were entered.
Oh, wow.
And something that we're also doing is taking, in that case, how do you judge the cakes? Well, they were judged on decorations. We really don't have experts in the area, so we let the public vote.
Okay.
We put a jar in front of each cake. People coming by could chuck their change or write checks and put what they wanted in each jar. And whoever had the most money at the end won first, second, third place. And the money from all those contributions goes to the new Roosevelt planned City Pool and Wellness Center.
Oh, very nice.
So throughout the year, all of our arts events will have some way of collecting contributions, voting like we just did, those kinds of activities at all of our events.
And will those contributions all go to the same purpose?
All to the same thing throughout the year.
Okay, cool. So now we're into February now, and what do we got going on this month?
Well, Dr. Doug Ogden here came up with a great idea for something that we've never done in Roosevelt. What we have in Roosevelt, and in the Basin this time of year, if we haven't noticed, is we have lots of cold.
Yeah, and this year especially. Oh my goodness, it's been cold this year.
So we're trying to Doug came up with an idea of an event to let us enjoy the cold.
Okay, so Doug, why don't you tell us about what we got going on?
Well, for years I've enjoyed the outdoors as well as the arts, and I just came up with an idea to give people a reason to get off the sofa, get out of the house, and try something different. I love cross-country skiing, and that was the genesis of the activity. I wanted to bring friends together, give them a chance to try something different, and to that end we have individuals with equipment that will show up that are willing to loan their equipment. So participants will trade an ID for equipment and return the equipment in the same condition.
And so is it a timed event? Is there a competition that goes on with this type thing?
This early in the program, there aren't any competitive events.
Okay.
We just basically want to give people a chance to learn how to cross-country ski and then get out on the golf course and try it. It's a beautiful place to try it. It's relatively flat and smooth. And we should have a variety of sizes in terms of boots and lengths of skis for children up to adults.
When is this going to be happening?
February 16th.
The 16th. I'm assuming that's maybe a weekend?
It is a Saturday,
Okay.
and we'll start at 8:45 a.m. with getting everybody lined up with their equipment. and then get them out on the golf course and give them some basic instructions, and then just let them go have some fun.
A new experience,
Yeah.
trying some cross-country skiing. Are you going to be one of the instructors?
I will.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So when I fall down, I can blame you.
I'll be there to pick you up.
Oh, you'll be there to pick me back up. Now, do you anticipate? Is there any kind of pre-registration that has to be done? You just show up.
Just show up. There will be. I've also talked with River Runners, and they hope to bring their equipment over. So there should be enough skis for a lot of people to participate.
And was there you had a time of day, but I'm not positive I heard a location. Where was it happening?
It's at the Roosevelt City Golf Course.
Okay.
The clubhouse.
On the 16th of February, starting about 8:45 in the morning.
8:45. We'll go to about noon. The clubhouse will have their cafe open, so there will be a fire inside and hot chocolate, chili, sandwiches, that kind of thing.
I'm going to go just for the food.
There you go.
Okay, well, we got a lot more to talk about because we're only into February. We got the whole rest of the year. So we'll be right back to hear more from the members of the Basin Arts Council after this message from our sponsor, Strata Networks. We'll be right back.
Strata Networks is proud to bring the first true 4G LTE network to the Uinta Basin. 4G LTE is the most powerful mobile broadband available anywhere in the world. With speeds up to 10 times faster than 3G, you can stay connected like never before. Video chat without delay, stream HD TV or movies in an instant, and download or upload in seconds. For details, visit us in Roosevelt or Vernal or call 622-5007. More speed, more power. 4G LTE, only from Strata Networks.
All right, welcome back to Local Point. Joining me once again is Steve Puro and now Corinne Hollinger. No, dang it, it is Hollinger, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I knew I was going to have an issue with that, and I actually got it right for once. Corinne is the president of the Basin Arts Council, and we want to ask you some questions in a second, but we want to jump back really quick because we were talking about the Winterfest, and we wanted to make sure we didn't miss out on all the things that were going on because, again, starting at 8:45 in the morning, we had some instruction on cross-country skiing, but there's a lot of other stuff going on that day. So, Steve, tell us what else is going on.
In the afternoon, there's also sledding for the community, for parents and kids to come out and enjoy the slope at Constitution Park. It runs from 1 to 4. Okay. There'll also be some flame barrels there to keep the hands warm.
Oh, I was going to say, not to try to sled around.
No slalom.
All right, good.
Hot chocolate and some treats there being sponsored by some of our sponsors as well.
Great.
In the evening, starting at 6 o'clock at the Roosevelt Junior High School, there will be an art show and reception in the Commons area, and we'll have artwork that will be available for silent auction to buy. Again, the funds and things raised through that will go toward the Pool and Wellness Center in Roosevelt. Mm-hmm. Following that, at 7 o'clock, Utah State University is bringing in their opera department, and they'll present a concert that evening, free to the public, starting at 7 o'clock.
Where is that being held again?
At the Roosevelt Junior High School.
Okay.
Auditorium.
Wow, a lot going on February 16th.
A lot.
Okay, and that's just the beginning. Like I said, this whole Centennial celebration, something going on every month. So let's turn our attention to Corinne now. What is your job? I mean, you're obviously the president of the Basin Arts Council, but you've got a lecture series that you're putting together. What exactly is that?
Well, in conjunction with the Roosevelt Centennial celebration, we thought it would be interesting to explore our past history. Mm-hmm. And what better person to tell us about that is our first lecture was from Dr. John Barton from Utah State University. He's a history professor. And on the 18th will be our second series, and that will be by Dr. Bert Jensen, who is also a professor of history at USU. And that way we can partner with the college and create a public event for people to come and learn about their history. And our last lecture turned out very nicely because we had a lot of old-timers that had actually experienced these things in the basin 100 years ago. Wow. Maybe not 100 years ago, but they had ancestors that were some of the first settlers in Roosevelt. And it's just really fascinating to learn about those things.
And so are they given specific thematic topics about certain periods of time in history?
Yes.
Or how does that work?
Mr. Barton actually talked about homesteading and how Roosevelt actually got its start. And there's also lots of challenges that come with starting a new community, and that's what Mr. Jensen will be talking about on February the 18th for our lecture series there. And there's lots of local historians too, and as we've visited about the subjects for these, lots of things have come to mind. In a small town like Roosevelt, how do you start electricity? How do you get something going there? And the telephone situation, and those were actually started by cooperatives.
Okay.
Which is different than a lot of other communities, but they were successful in our situation out here in Roosevelt.
How many speakers, how long does the series go for during the course of the year?
We hope to find a lecturer for each month.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Along with our Winterfest event and some of the spring events and so forth. As we have been talking about this, I've come up with lots of subjects, one of them being that we have a famous movie star that actually originated in Roosevelt.
Say what?
We do.
Who?
Her name is Lorraine Day.
Oh, okay. I don't know who that is.
And she was actually quite famous, and she performed in lots of movies back in the 20s and 30s, I think it was.
Wow.
Maybe it was a little more recent than that, but I just watched a movie with her with John Wayne the other night.
Wow.
And she's a remarkable actress, and she claims her roots to be in Roosevelt.
Wow. Look at that. We have movie stars right here from our area, from the Basin. That's fun. Do you have any other speakers already set up that you or the ones maybe you're hoping for?
We hope to focus on education in Roosevelt, and the part that's played. In any new community, you need to have an education system. So we have one scheduled for probably in March, talking about education.
Okay, this is fun. So you've got these lecture series that are kind of coinciding with the events that are happening. Winterfest, of course, happening in February. What's happening in March?
We have a concert with the Roosevelt Pop Symphony on March 8th with a Western theme, keeping in line with our pioneer heritage.
And then got the rest of the year, some of it laid out. Do you know any other events that you're for sure are going to be happening?
The rest of the dates are a little nebulous still. Not all solid dates, but there is an event calendar for each month. More information can be found on our Facebook page. You just need to like the Uinta Basin Arts Council or the Centennial, the Roosevelt Centennial.
Roosevelt Centennial or the Basin Arts Council Facebook page, and then you can find out everything that you want to know as we progress through the year and new fun events come up, all to celebrate 100 years in Roosevelt. So I guess that would be 1913 it was established?
Yes.
That would make sense, right?
There were people that wanted to celebrate in 2006, because actually that's when the homesteading took place, but the city was incorporated in 2013. Or in 1913,
right. 2013. We just got incorporated. No, that's great. Well, I appreciate you guys coming out and talking to us about it. Look forward to find out more about the lecture series and more about the events as they come. So once again, go to Facebook, find Basin Arts Council, or find the Roosevelt Centennial, like that page, and you'll find out all about it. All right, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you, of course, for joining us as always, today's show especially. That's all for now. Please join us next time right here on VTV Channel 6. We'll see you.